Vinted, you either love it or you hate it, and I am really undecided at the moment. I don't know about you guys, but all of my feed at the moment when I'm scrolling seems to be Vinted related, either how to sell, how to make sure you don't get scammed, and for those of you that don't know, I am a Vinted reseller. A lot of the PR that I receive from TikTok Shop, if it's not something that I personally want to keep or want to gift, I resell on my Vinted platform. And I also am on a weight loss journey and scaling down through the sizes. So as things become too big for me, they end up on Vinted as well. So recently, I've been having a little bit of a Christian Louboutin phase. I've bought several pairs of shoes from various places like Harrods, Flannels, Christian Louboutin directly, and really loving the experience. Went on to Vinted and was just sifting through like I do, getting an idea on prices for things when I'm listing my stock, and I come across this pair of Christian Louboutins, the Hot Chick I think they were called, the red that fades into the black on the toe. So they start red at the back of the heel and then gradually fade into black. And I should have known it was too good to be true, but I got carried away and the seller was asking for £180, and I bid her down a little bit and she accepted my offer, and happy days. Before I bought them, I said to her, have you got any purchase history? Have you got the box? Are they definitely genuine? Because I don't want to be wearing copies or replicas. I know what size I am in Louboutin now, and they were the correct size, and I thought it's a bargain for one. It's a pretty safe bet if they are genuine, and she can prove that they are genuine. Anyway, I should have learnt from the first conversation with her, because she came back to me and she said, I don't have the receipt or the box, but they are genuine. I bought them in Harrods 2 years ago and I lost the box and the receipt in a house move. Now, I've seen this happen several times since, and I'll explain that in a minute. So she said, I can guarantee they're genuine. They definitely were bought in Harrods. And yeah, they're not replicas. So I was like, okay, for the price of them real, if you were to go to Harrods, for example, and buy them, you're talking £900 roughly. And I was getting a real bargain. They always say, don't you, if it's too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Anyway, I bought them because she told me they were genuine and that she'd bought them from Harrods. I received them about 5 days later, quite quick on the postage. Took them out of the wrapping. They weren't particularly well wrapped either, considering they're meant to be a high-end item. Within like 5 minutes of having them in my hands, I could see they were very bad replica. We're talking, China at its best. Really not genuine. I actually researched from the Christian Louboutin website and found a picture of the genuine ones, screenshot that and sent it back to her along with the picture of the ones that I'd purchased, and there was very obvious differences in both of the screenshots that I sent her. The ones that she sent me had this really horrible tag like along the back of the heel, and it was very obvious they weren't real. They didn't fit. They were tiny, considering they were meant to be a size 5, which is what I wear in Christian Louboutin. So yeah, very clearly replica. I contacted her. I said, these are not real. There's absolutely no way you bought these in Harrods. Luckily for me, I know what real ones look like, and these are definitely not real. I want a refund. And they were also marked and scratched. She said in her listing, they've only been worn indoors for half an hour. They're too small for her. She hadn't worn them outside, and they were perfect condition. So when I received them, there's a black like Sharpie dot on the side of one of them on the red part, so very noticeable. And when you looked at the soles, they were all scratched. They'd definitely been worn outside, so there was no way that they were brand new and only been worn for half an hour indoors. So I took photos of the issues, sent her the photos of the issues, and said they're not genuine, absolutely no way, and they are damaged, and you said that they'd only been worn for half an hour indoors. Not happy with the purchase, I want a refund. So she accepted the refund, but she accepted it in the way that I had to pay to send them back to her rather than her pay for that, which I felt was a bit off really, considering she's lied about the fact that they're genuine and they're not. But I thought, you know what, it's £6 to send them back. I'm going to get my money back. So I sent them back. 3 days later, they went 48-hour tracked with the Vinted label that Vinted generated for me when I purchased the refund, the label to send them back. And 3 days later, I get the notification via Vinted that the seller has received the shoes back. So all she then had to do was initiate the refund so that the money then comes back to me. Guess what? She hasn't done it. So she currently has the shoes back in her possession and she hasn't refunded. So I've been contacting Vinted through their support, and it is so frustrating because they just don't listen to what you're saying. They're basically, how it stands at the moment, this is like 10 days ago this happened, and it's currently still being investigated because the seller has said she hasn't received them back, even though she clicked the link her end to say she'd received them and everything was okay. So they are now investigating where these shoes are. And when I thought about it, I thought, I know why she's done that. Because if she's saying, like, I can evidence that I sent them because the label was printed and it has got a tracking number. So they can see that they left my hands. However, they can't see, apparently, that the seller has them. Why, I don't know, because she accepted on the Vinted account that she'd received the parcel back. But they're investigating. It can take up to 7 days for Royal Mail investigation. And I thought, you know what? She's played it clever, because if they say this parcel is now missing, she will get her money. She will get the money and they will refund me. So it's not about me not getting my money back. I will get my money back, but she will also be paid for these fake shoes that she currently has so that she can sell them again. How many times is this woman doing this? And we're not talking a little bit of money here. We're talking like, I think it was about £160 that I paid. So I've now got to wait for the Vinted investigation to come to a close, for them to say the shoes are lost when I know they're not. I know she's got them. For them to hopefully refund me, but also refund her for a missing parcel so that she can then list them again, or she may have already listed them again. I don't know. Actually, I'm going to check because I know what her Vinted name is. They may already be listed again for someone else to fall into the same trap. And it's just like, Vinted, come on, sort it out. Like, how are you protecting your buyers? And why can't you check through your systems to see that this seller has received the shoes back and just initiate the refund for me? It's so frustrating, and I am a Vinted seller, and I'm lucky in the fact that I sell quality items. Most of the stuff that I sell is brand new, and I very rarely have any issues with any of my buyers, and I don't buy much stuff on Vinted personally, so I haven't really experienced this much. But from issues that I'm seeing on TikTok, this is not unusual. Vinted really need to sort it out, because it's just not good customer service. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday and I said, come on, why are you not understanding what I'm telling you? I need a phone number. I need to actually speak to somebody about this so that they get what I'm saying, because you're not understanding me. This seller is going to get a refund because she's telling you the shoes are lost and they're not. She has them back. You're going to pay her for fake shoes, and you're going to refund me because that's Vinted policy. Makes no sense. And apparently there is not a number that you can use to phone Vinted. So if anyone has got a phone number for Vinted, because I've searched and I can't find one anywhere on the internet anywhere, if you do know of a Vinted customer service number, please send it my way, because I really need to talk to them.